Hey guys, I got a few distributors laid out here, and I kind of wanted to go over the differences between points, the Unilites, electronic ignition, MSD, and factory HEI, and just how they work and what the differences are. So, we're going to start with points. Now, this is the distributor off my cousin Sean's 1984 CJ8 with a 67 Camaro 327 in it. And points work as it's a literally mechanical system. If you want to take a look, it's got the breaker point right here, and you can see the bottom of the rotor has lobes on it. So what happens is as the thing spins, the lobes rub up against this breaker point and it opens it up just a hair. And what that does is it cuts the ground to the coil that runs off the wire here. And it cuts the ground and it fires the spark plug. And then obviously the rotor goes to where the plug wire is. But that's basically how they work. These over time burn out because each time this opens up, a tiny little spark forms between the point there, and it'll corrode the point where it won't work anymore. These actually, people put MSD boxes on them, like them 6LA boxes, and what it does is it cuts the voltage that runs through this. So technically, with that, these could technically last forever. But without it, just factory, they burn out over time. And then next, in 1975, GM went from breaker points to HEI on basically everything. And this is the electronic ignition. It's basic. It came on basically every GM engine from then had an optional HEI, and they still re-pop these for other cars like Fords, small block Fords, older engines, just about any vehicle you could get one of these style distributors for. But these work with a electromagnetic sensor. You can kind of see it down there as the thing spins. There's like a thing on the shaft that spins. I don't know if you can see it. Get a light. This is gonna be funky. Here, Zach, hold this light right here. So it's right here, and so you can see below the thing. This way a little more. You gotta hold it better. Hold out here. Oh, boo-hoo. You can see this thing spins in there, and it matches up with them triangles. And when it hits one of them, it fires up the spark plug. And that's the basics of the HEI. These, since they don't have a mechanical point on them that disconnects and reconnects, these really don't burn out. I mean, I'm not gonna say they don't break, but they don't burn out as often like points do. But sometimes these go out. Gotta replace the rotors every now and again. But that's factory. And here we have a ready to run pro billet MSD unit, which is the same basic thing. This is a lot easier to see. The rotor spins and it hits this sensor right here, and when it goes in front of the sensor, it fires the plug. Very, very simple, easy to understand, but it's the same basic concept. And then here's Mallory's Unilite. Now unfortunately Mallory ain't around no more, so you can't get these distributors, and you can't get parts for these anymore. I was going to use this until I found out that the vacuum advance was broken on it, and I can't get one anymore. But these are very basic, but they run off a different concept. If this thing will pop off. There we go. So you see right here that it's just plastic with these notches cut in here. And right in here is actually a little LED. And on the other side, one of these is an LED, and one of these is a light sensor. And what it does is, When this slips on here, it will cover that right there. And whenever one of these notches lines up and lets the light pass between the notch and into the sensor, that's when it fires the spark plug. Very simple, basic. I don't know how reliable these are, but unfortunately Mallory was bought not that long ago and then shut down. So they don't make these anymore, and I can't get a vacuum in advance for this anymore. So basically this is just a single advanced distributor with whatever weights are in it. If there is any weights in it. This I'd probably use on some sprint car motor or whatever. But that's the basics of the 4 different distributors that you can see. Honestly, MSD and HEI are very similar in concept. Points is what came on basically every old car from the mid-70s and before. And Mallory is Mallory, however they do it. And that's kind of just the basics of these distributors, and that's it basically.